Well, the Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane has 9 days to explain to President Cyril Ramaphosa why he should not suspend her in terms of Section 194 of the Constitution. In a letter sent to Mkhwebane yesterday, President Cyril Ramaphosa gave the Public Protector 10 days to send her submission. Advocate Mkhwebane's office says she's consulting with her legal representatives and will request a copy of the letter from the President. This comes after the National Assembly Speaker Nosiviwe Makangela informed the President of Parliament's intention to resume impeachment proceedings against Advocate Mkhwebane. A recent Constitutional Court ruling paved the way for the proceedings to continue. The Constitution empowers the President to suspend Mkhwebane after the start of the proceedings pending the outcome of the process. All right, let's get some legal perspective for you then on this matter. We are now joined via Zoom by legal analyst Sinawo Makangela from Makangela Mtungani Incorporated. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Thanks so very much for availing yourself to SABC News.
Good afternoon, Flo, and good afternoon to the viewers. Thank you for having me as well.
Well, of course, Advocate Mkhwebane has 9 days now to respond indeed to the President. Which legal position should she take in terms of her responding? One wonders if she can't take the perspective of saying, well, look, I'm actually investigating you, so you can't actually suspend me given the fact that I'm in the process of investigating you.
Well, it's a tricky situation as you raise it, that there are many judgments where the President would want to take a decision about some of these Chapter 9 institutions, and there are many pronouncements by the courts. So I cannot even anticipate what she has to say, but she says she's consulting. She knows that this may not only end between her and the President, but it will end, of course, in the doorsteps of our courts. There is a litigation that will come. For every correspondence between these two offices, there is a litigation. There are courts that have to be there, the last arbiters of those disputes.
Yeah, she argues that the process has been rushed and may indeed then be flawed. From your point of view, have proper steps indeed been taken in terms of addressing, what I'll call the tensions or battle between, the President and her office?
I doubt with the incumbent, no. But to say the process has been rushed, she took the matter to court because the National Assembly wanted to rush the process. The High Court, the full bench in the Western Cape, pronounced and said they cannot go ahead as things stand. And then the matter went to the Concord. So the Concord gave the green light to say, National Assembly, you may proceed with the process. Now the President, because I take it as if it's a precautionary suspension, now says because there is this process that is ongoing, because there is a prima facie evidence that you have committed some transgressions as per the Nkabinde committee, Nkabinde inquiry. Now the President says, look, just step aside pending the finalization of all these processes. That's why I'm saying I take it as if it's a precautionary suspension.
Yeah. Does that mean, during this entire process that whatever that the Public Protector had been investigating or wanting to investigate with regards to the President is then put on hold and it may not then continue?
No, it can't. Remember, the Public Protector is an institution. It's not an individual. So even if she is there, remember, she works with investigators. There are many people who are trained in that institution. She has a deputy. So they have a mandate. That office has a mandate, has a constitutional mandate. It will continue in her absence as well. But as you put it earlier on, that the President is being investigated by the Public Protector. Now the President wants to suspend the Public Protector. So there's going to be that thin line whether the suspension, that which has given rise to the suspension, has anything to do with the President or not. But if not, then there's going to be an issue to say there is a conflict. But if yes, then obviously, the President, I cannot take that decision about the matter that affects him.
Well, what precedent would this then set with regards to the office of the Public Protector? I think previously, we'll remember, of course, that Advocate Madonsela had been investigating the former president, the incumbent at the time, former President Jacob Zuma, and that continued, and she indeed did finish her term of office. And this time around, Advocate Mkhwebane is somehow being stopped from doing so. And one wonders, going forward, public protectors in future might then have reservations when it comes to investigating those in high office. The president, for example. I mean, I really want to understand what precedent this kind of then forms.
No, it's true. Actually, you might have seen this in the last few weeks in the JSC. This issue came up as well. That to a point where what gave rise to the State Capture Commission, the power that is bestowed on the president to appoint a judge was taken away from him because he was a subject of that very same investigation. And then, as I say, it is not different from this case if what gave rise to the case that leads to the impeachment proceedings against the current public protector has to do with the president. He cannot do that. It means he is conflicted as well. Now, if it comes out from the investigation, from the consultation of Advocate Mkhwebane, that in fact, what gave rise to this whole thing is because I'm investigating the president, she will run to court and say, no. The president is not suited to take this decision. One of the issues is that even the president, it's an office, so there is a deputy president. That if there is any decision that has to be taken, it could be taken by the deputy if the president is conflicted. So that all these processes can remain above board. They must not be, just to ensure that at least everything that is being done, the confidence of the citizens remain in the office of the public protector, that it can investigate anyone, it can investigate the president, the most powerful person in the republic.
Yeah, I mean, I know that our conversation is limited to the legalities of what's happening, but I'd really like to get your input on what the EFF has said. They've labelled President Ramaphosa as a destructive dictator for the possible removal of Mkhwebane or the possible suspension of Mkhwebane. Do you think that there are those sort of undertones of dictatorship? I mean, this word has been thrown around quite a bit lately, and I wonder if there is a sense, certainly, that this is how dictatorship actually starts.
Well, Flo, I think that's just another space. So I'm not conversant with that space. As I say, I may be confined because what I know is that he waited for the Concord to give a green light to the National Assembly. The Speaker has written to the President to say, we are now in the process of impeaching the public protector. Now the president says, okay, in light of that, I am now intending to suspend you, public protector. Give me reasons why I should not. But what was missing in his correspondence to the PP is a letter from the Speaker, because the PP wants to see that letter so that she can be able to make up her minds and get a proper legal advice from her lawyers. Whether that's being a dictator, well, I cannot say. But of course, politicians have got their own way of seeing things.
All right. Thanks very much for giving us your time. We certainly do appreciate you availing yourself here to SABC News. Sinawo Makangela from Makangela Mtungani Inc. Thank you, sir.